kind of scary if you're a member of Dignitas because Vitality keeps walking away with games.
No, they're like, man, we are... Winston sequence was so good. And they still kept it out of the net. And then you cycle through 2 or 3 more.
I think we can win World Championship, play at our best, because I know that we have the potential. We showed it in Rally qualifiers, for example, that we can beat any team.
Overtime in Game 5, Dignitas' tournament life hangs in the balance.
All or nothing, and hopefully that brief stoppage of play is enough for Dignitas to get the communication back in order, and it is! Yukeo fights 1 out, and we're going to 6.
Rocket League is a game where team rosters change quite fast. It is a highly competitive game where new players come in and make a name for themselves almost every new season, more or less. But once upon a time, Yukeo was the player that was on everyone's tongue, and it looked like he could be the next big player. In order to fully grasp Yukeo's career, we need to go all the way back to 2017. That's the time when ESL was a thing. ESL had these weekly tournaments where you could compete with some of the best players in the world. Yukeo played with several different teams during this time, and they often managed to get a 3rd, 4th, and occasionally some 1st places. It was not until Yukeo teamed up with Flipside Tactics alongside Mystic and Kuxir97, things started to happen. In 2018, they qualified for the main event at DreamHack Leipzig, with a solid performance in the qualifier. At the main event, they unfortunately ended up at a disappointing 7th place. As the months passed on in 2018, they had won several Gfinity Series events, and in October 2018, they managed to get a solid 3rd place during the rlcs Season 6 in Europe. With that 3rd place, they qualified for the World Championship that took place at Orleans Arena in Las Vegas. There they won against G2 Esports in the upper bracket quarterfinal, but lost to Dignitas in the semifinal, which sent them down to the lower bracket quarterfinal. In that quarterfinal, they faced Cloud9, that ended up winning rlcs Season 6 and was crowned World Champions. In January 2019, Yukeo decided to leave Flipside Tactics and join Team Dignitas. At this point, Flipside Tactics alongside Team Dignitas were qualified for the World Showdown of Esports Event 4, which took place in Las Vegas at the Poker Go studio. Flipside Tactics, the team Yukeo left, ended up winning that tournament, while Team Dignitas and Yukeo ended up at 6th place. 1 month later, Team Dignitas, which at the time consisted of Yukeo, Violet Panda and Turbopulsa, won the DreamHack Pro Circuit in Leipzig. Shortly after, they managed to secure a 5th place during the European rlcs Season 7, losing to PSG in the lower bracket quarterfinals. In June 2019, Turbopulsa leaves Dignitas and gets replaced by Astral. Before the rlcs Season 8 finals in Spain, Dignitas had a good run winning against Complexity, Barcelona and Team Vitality during the regular season. With their achievements during the regular season, they qualified for the main event. During the group stage at the main event, Dignitas won against 3Sins, Pittsburgh Knights and Space Station Gaming. Since they won every game in the group stage, they were ready for the semifinals. In the semifinals, they met Team Vitality, who they won against during the regular season. Despite Yukeo's immense effort during the semifinals, they lose the game and Team Dignitas is out of the tournament, where they end up in 4th place. The semifinal game was probably the start of the hype around Yukeo. Despite their devastating loss against Vitality, Yukeo and Team Dignitas were going to get revenge. Let's fast forward a few months. We're now at the European rlcs Season 9 finals in 2020. COVID has hit the world, so there's not going to be a World Championship for another 2 years. Dignitas had almost a perfect regular season. They won 7 out of 9 games. Yet again, they are ready for a semi-final in a main event.
It is a
rivalry that has started to define an entire region. Renault Vitality against Dignitas provided one of the greatest series in RLCS history only 6 months ago. They gave us just as good a sequel earlier on in the league play, Johnny. But for the trilogy, it's going to be Dignitas looking for a different result because both times they've played, it's been Renault Vitality taking the win.
But this time, things are going their way. The semi-finals turn out to be a difficult game against Mouse Sports. Eventually, they won that game 4-3, and they are ready for the grand final against Team Vitality. At this point, you could almost say that Team Vitality was their nemesis, and what a game we were about to witness in the grand final.
The game. Will overtime be needed, or can Violent Panda put something together for his team right here, right now? Over to Astral. It's going to be an awkward bounce to deal with. Alpha's missed it, and nobody from Dignitas expected that. They were already waiting for the clear.
Dignitas not really committing. They're not willing to commit too risky on these passes. Astral double touch to the backboard. Yukeo's free jump, but Astral just doesn't actually make it time. Waiting for a good chance. They don't need to force the issue here. Score again. They might have to do that. And Yukeo has scored in this. Overtime continues.
Win bone as far as Astral. Very has to play this one well. He's dropped down to Yukeo. That's on target. You can see all 3 members from Renault Vitality jumping for that. They are not at their brilliant best, but Alpha with the set. The shot's put high. Very big to finish it. And it's for Alpha. Gives it to Very big. Vitality trying to play a speed game right now. They want to beat Dignitas to every ball. Violent Panda on target, but it's right down the middle. Very big can get there on time, but Dignitas looking to get the claws out, looking to finish off this game. Astral makes out one. Has he got a passing option? To Yukeo, but Very big blocks it.
Still, Dignitas piling it on. They're coming forward, looking for the winning goal. Vitality hanging on to the line.
He's got Yukeo. He goes for Yukeo. Putting it in. Revenge is finally his. The regional championship belongs to Dignitas.
Dignitas won the game 4-2 after a solid team performance where Violent Panda scores off a beautiful assist by Yukeo in overtime during the final game of the series. Dignitas and Yukeo could now call themselves the best team in Europe, but this was going to be Team Dignitas and Yukeo's peak. After a win against Team Vitality, Yukeo and his team had a series of bad performances. Even though they ended up in second place during the European Rocket League Spring Series, where they lost to Vitality yet again, after a solid lower bracket run, the following tournaments were going to be their downfall. The Fusion Europe 5th place, Eurocup 10K 6th place, the Rocket Baguette Summer Grand Prix 8th place, and during the RLCS Season X Fall European Major, they ended up in 13th place, where the nemesis, Team Vitality, ended up in 2nd place. The 30th of October, Yukeo is moved to the inactive roster at Team Dignitas. The same day, Yukeo joins the main roster for Fadeaway, alongside Degree and Freaky. Unfortunately, this team did not see any major wins beside their win against Team Quaso at the Grid EU Open Qualifier during the RLCS Season X winter event. After that, Yukeo's name was not on everyone's tongue like it was back in 2019 when they fought against Team Vitality. Yukeo later ended up playing for Ether, that came in 2nd place during the Regional Event 3 at the RLCS Season X Spring event. Shortly after that, SK Gaming acquired the Ether roster, and they managed to end up in 3rd place during the European Major at the same event, RLCS Season X Spring. But after that, Yukeo and SK Gaming never saw top 3 again, and the roster was released the 30th of December 2021. We're now in 2022, and the 4th of January, the Norwegian esports organization Heroic signs Yukeo, and once again, Yukeo is reunited with Violent Panda from the time in Dignitas. Unfortunately, they never qualify for a major event, and the team is released on May 23rd, 2022. Shortly after they got released from Heroic, Yukeo and Nowasaki form We Try Win, with RXI trying to qualify for the main event of the rlcs season 2021-22 spring event, but ended up at 11th place and the team disbands on May 29th. This also marks the as for now end for Yukeo's career. Who knows if he will join the team in the upcoming season of competitive Rocket League, but the name Yukeo, that once upon a time was looked upon as greatness, is now only a memory of what once was. Yukeo is still a great Rocket League player, but sometimes results mean more than memories. Until next time, stay positive.